Hi everybody, Ann Teed. I want to focus on artistic development and how it is not just when we're a child, how it's not just when we're in school and people are telling us to make things, paint things, draw things, build things. It is throughout our whole life. And I want to have you think about the engagement with materials. So far, you've been watching these little babies, happen to be my grandchildren, have a relationship with materials. If it's gooey, it's sticky, it makes puddles, whatever, it's bright, it's dull. They're really learning that it has properties and the limitations as well as the possibilities. And that's what really this class I get to focus on. Last week, we talked about imagination in childhood and how we were building things out of boxes and mud puddles. And so I want to take it a little further today and for this week. And I want to challenge you, whatever age you are right now, to experiment. So I want you, first of all, think about your materials that you build with now. Some of you are painters, some of you do wood, and brainstorm. So the first part of this is to brainstorm and think about in your head all the materials that technically you think that you've been creative with. Might be a short list, might be a long list. Take a look at that, brainstorm. It could have been formal, that you took a class, or it could have been in your grandfather's workshop. It could have been you going to Michael's and buying something new. I want you to brainstorm and make a list of all the materials that you made something with, you created. It could have been store-bought, or it could have been that you found it in nature. It could have been you found it in a dumpster. So if you know your professor here, I actually run an industrial design company with my son, and it's very hard for me to walk past the dumpster because I just got all these boxes out and I want to build something with it. And I'm always building things with my grandchildren or even for myself. And I love challenging myself with materials. One time I actually made a painting that the snow did the paint. So and I don't know what was going on in my head, but I love creating and experimenting, and that's what we do. That's how we build these relationships. So I took a piece of paper and I put big blobs of watercolor, big thick blobs and I watched the snow come down, and it was on a very stiff board. And when I thought there was enough snow on it, I moved the board inside and I let it dry. So I was thinking that the snow was being the brush, the creator, the artist. And it turned out to be a really incredible experiment because the variables were the amount of snow, the temperature changing, the rippling in the paper, depending on the paper I selected. If I had done it on another paper, a newsprint, would have behaved a whole different way, or an acetate. So really studying materials, how they behave, the limitations, the possibilities, two big words. And I want you to think about that. A stick in the mud. Have you drawn with a carrot? So again, the first part is brainstorm all the things that you've created with, from store-bought, in your house, in a dumpster, in a lumber yard, concrete, I don't know, just put material and it could be a bulleted list of what you created with it. Or maybe you just experimented with it and there wasn't product, because we got to get away from product oriented. Second part of the assignment is I want you to think of a new material that you haven't explored with, and I want you to think of doing something quick with this material. Maybe it's soggy macaroni, I don't know. Think of something you never thought of as a material, an art material or a creating material before, And I want you to put your journal beside you, and I want you to make notes and journal as you are exploring this material. Maybe it's really exploring with very liquid watercolors that you've never really played with them. And you're going to use your senses and your investigative skills to write down what you're experiencing slowly. Is it puddling? Is it doing this? How is the material behaving? How are you interacting? I'm adding more. Oh, I'm sitting back. It's doing this, it's doing that. It's not doing this, it's not doing that. It smells like this. And you're just going to journal. And it could be one page, it could be 2 pages, but I want you to journal that experience. Oh, you're going to have to figure out when you're done with it. Because again, we're not being product oriented, or maybe there will be a product. I don't know. So the second half is taking a material that you really feel that you haven't put a full investigation in. So it could be something that's a non-traditional art material, or it can be one that you haven't really fully gotten into. And you're going to journal, and you're going to submit that in our forum. All right, and you're going to respond to 2 peers. All right, we're starting a day late, but that's no problem. So by next Wednesday, hopefully by Sunday, you've posted, or I'm going to be a little flexible on this. By next Wednesday, hopefully you've posted and you've commented on 2 of your peers. Okay, so you're going to do that brainstorm of everything you think you've played with. I built in silver clay, and I built with pine cones and sand castles. And then formally, acrylic and liquid acrylics and, porcelain. And so as an artist, I want you to make that repertoire list of the materials that you've explored with, you've made things with, you've created. And that's part A. Part B is, okay, now I'm going to set aside this time. I'm going to document and journal, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to post it in the journal and discuss it with my peers. Have fun. Don't get too crazy with this, okay? This is just a 1-week thing. It's not a midterm or a final. But it's really a good activity to think about where you are right now in that creative development. All right, have fun. Have fun.